I wanted to go through another Sudoku puzzle from the book. As you saw initially, we tried to do the puzzle the traditional way, which you have the option of doing anyway. But I also wanted to provide you with the what's very specific in this book, which is it gives you the option of looking at all the possibilities within each box. And so this way you can eliminate numbers, naked singles become more apparent almost immediately. And you can work your way towards finding the harder part of the puzzle and the more thinking part. But basically, this part requires you to be very methodical. And in some cases, especially the easy and the medium level puzzles, by using this method, you can resolve the puzzle entirely. So basically, by understanding the rules of Sudoku, whereby you need to have the numbers 1 to 9 across each row, or we could have 1 to 9 down each column, as you can see here, or we could have 1 to 9. So we need to make sure all these three criterions are met. And so this, by having all those three criterions, where in each block we need to have 1 to 9. And so we can't have repeat numbers. So this way we can cross things out fairly quickly, and the possibilities become a lot less considering the numbers that are already on your puzzle. So let me just remove that. And so by providing you with all the possible numbers that could sit in each box, what we're doing is we basically, the numbers become a lot more clear. Naked singles stand out a lot more. These are the numbers that are immediately apparent for each box. And so we can cross out the numbers and end up with more naked singles and more numbers being revealed in each box. And as I said, this method, you'll probably, in most cases, you can resolve a puzzle entirely. So let's get started here. We already know that certain numbers are already here. So what we can do is, as a first step, we can start filling in those naked singles and move on very quickly. So let me start putting those numbers in one by one. And in doing so, we can actually end up with inputting those numbers into the empty boxes, and as a result, we can end up resolving the entire puzzle one by one. So let's get started. So here we go. This is, if I use black, this will be the number 6 sitting here. I'm using paint to show you this because I wanted the puzzle to be the exact one that we used from the book. So I'm using paint to present the video to you. So 6 sits in this box. Now there's quite a few of them. There's another 6 that sits here. And so let's just start filling those obvious numbers one by one. A 1 sits here. A 6 sits here. Now, once we put these numbers in, then we can start eliminating. 7 sits here. So first step, put in all those naked singles that are standing out. 4 sits here. Okay, another 6 sits here. So we've resolved quite a few of those boxes already. Now there might be 1 or 2 more here and there that skip my eye, but by using this method, we will eventually get to them anyway. Using the original method, which is not looking at all the possibilities in the box, as a possibility you may miss 1 or 2, and then you end up thinking there's more options on the box, and so it becomes a little bit, it's going to take longer to resolve and a little bit more difficult. But let's start eliminating some numbers now. Since we have 6 in this box here, we can start go across the row, eliminate all the 6s. Can you see that here? Right. Now, so that's one box taken care of. Since we have 6 sitting here, we can eliminate a 6 here, and that will resolve this row here. In a sec, we put the number in there. Since we have a 6 here, we can start removing 6s all the way across. I've just gone through the rows, not the columns yet. Since we have a 4 here, we can go across. There's 1 4 here that I can remove. Since we have a 7 here, I can remove the 7s all the way across. 1, 2, I can't see anymore. Now let's go down the actual columns. In this column, we've got a 6 here, so we can start removing the 6 from anywhere else. Can't see anymore. We have a 4 here. We can go up. Is there any other 4s? Down. Yes, there's one more 4 here. We also have a 1 here. There's one again up here in this column. There's one more up here. Can you see how we're eliminating those numbers and revealing more options, or revealing just naked singles? They come out. So 6 is here. We can go down this column. We can remove this 6 here from here. I can't see any more 6s. Okay. 6 is sitting here. We can go down and up this column. Again, we got a 6 here. We have a 6 here. We have a 6 here. As a result, we've actually revealed quite a few other numbers. So let's now go across the whole puzzle and see if there's any more singles that are revealed. There's a 1, 5 here that we now have available to us. This location here. We have a 3 here. So there's 2 numbers that's been revealed to us. We have a 4 here. We have a 3 here. This is, by the way, I'm just going through it as though I was sitting on the table and first time round looking at the puzzle. So it hasn't been rehearsed before. I'm just going one by one and trying to resolve the puzzle. And sometimes it may take me a few minutes to work out what my next step will be as I'm trying to see my options. But so far, things have been going fairly smoothly for us. So now, since we have a 3 here, I can start removing the 3s across the row here. Okay, I can go down this column, remove here, remove it from here, remove it from here. So we're reducing the number of rows in each box, which means we are cutting down on the possibilities in the box and trying to find the actual number that fits into that box. So again, we have a 5 here, so everything's been removed up and down here. We have a 3 here, so we can go up this column, remove the 3 from here. Can't see any more. Let's go across. Got a 3 here, which we can remove. We have a 4 here, so we can go across and remove it from here. We can go up and down. Is there any 4s here? No. We got a 6 here. We can go across and remove the 6 from here. Remove the 6 from here. Can you see, being methodical will actually work for you very well here, because we don't want to miss any numbers. And I have probably missed several. You probably might spot things before I do in some of these cases, but it doesn't matter sometimes because I have the options in front of me and I can resolve it a little bit later on. It just takes a bit longer, that's all. So let's put a 9 here, since now we've resolved a 9 in this location here. So 9's come here. We have a 7 here now. Again, you may see more numbers than I'm looking at right now. But okay, as a result of putting those 2 numbers in, we can see 9, since it sits here, I can eliminate the 9 from here. Okay, let me see if there's any more 9s down the column. I can't see any here right now. Okay, and so we can put a few numbers here as a result. Let's do that right now. So 9 goes there, so we can put 1 here. So we just managed to resolve this, or partially this row, but once it's here and 5 sits here, so now we finished the row. Okay, so we got 1 row sorted. Okay, we got 1 column sorted here too, because I can remove the 7 from here, since we have 7 in this column that I forgot earlier on. So we put 6 here, and that's the column done. Okay, so this is out of the way. Now we got a 3 here, let's go across this row and see if we can see any more threes. And I can immediately see there's one here. Can't see any more. Okay, since we have that one there, we have to resolve another number for us, which is an 8 here. Now I'm trying to go, before I cross numbers out, we put the numbers in the boxes. And what I'm trying to do is, the more boxes I can fill, the closer I am to the finish line. So it becomes easier to resolve. We sorted out more numbers. Okay, so that's the goal here. That's the end game. So here I go again. Since I got an 8 here, we can get rid of the 8 here. I can't see any other 8s. So again, let me put the 8 here. So let me put a 2 here as a result, since the 8 is gone. Okay, we're more or less done with this row. Look at it. Since the 2 is here, I can cross out the 2 from here, and this will become a 4. Okay, time to start crossing out numbers from the boxes. So the last one we did was 4 here, so 4 we can eliminate from here. Okay, we can put 1 here in this column. Okay, since that's been eliminated, so I think we just resolved one more column. Okay, since we got a 1 here, we can come down and eliminate the 1 from here, which leaves a 2 for us. So one more column has now been dealt with. Okay, so that now we need to cross out more numbers. Okay, so let's start from the bottom. We've got 2 here. We can remove 2 from the other boxes. Across the row. Okay, we can also look at the blocks, but we'll do that in just one sec. Let me just remove the obvious ones, and then we can go for each block and start cleaning up as well. Okay, did I miss any numbers that should have been visible to me? A freeze here, see that? So here we go, freeze it here. Any more numbers? Any more numbers? Okay, so we just did the 3 there. Let me start crossing numbers out again. So 3 sits here. We can come down. We can remove this 3 from here, from the entire column, and this 3 from here. Okay, and going across, we can remove the 3 from here, 3 from here, and 3 from here. So as a result of just removing that 1 3, we've got 3 numbers revealed. Number 7 sits here. The number 9 sits here. Okay, and I think we probably can resolve this row completely. Since 7 and 9 sits here, there we go, we get rid of 7 from here, across the row. Okay, can't see any more 9s. So in this row, we've already worked out that this one will become an 8. And this will become a 4. So one more row has been resolved. Okay, so now again, let's start crossing things out. So I can't, like, there's 4 here in this column. Can you see that? This column here. I can remove the 4. I can't see any more 4s here. Okay, and this row has already been cleared up. Okay, what else can I find straightforward? Okay, I think there's more to be found, but it's skipping my eye at this time in terms of the obvious ones as a part of the domino effect. Okay, now what we can do is to simplify our lives. We can now go through the block. So say, for example, this block here. Okay, right? You can immediately see, okay, that we have the number 1, we have the number 2, we have the number 3, we have the number 4, we have the number 5, we have the number 6. We do not have the number 7. So this, since we had the option of 7 and 3, clearly this has to be a 7 in this box here. So here we go. We'll just cross out the number 3, which already is there anyway, and we can put the 7 in here. So we just remove the 7 from this block. If we remove the first block, okay? So first block has now been completely resolved. Okay, we can probably do the same thing on the second block. Okay, we have 1, Oh, it's actually completed already. Okay, let's move to the third block. We only have one number missing. Okay, and so since this was a 7, this must be a 3 in this row. Can you see that? There's only option of 7 and 3. So let's just put the 3 here. So this block has also been resolved now. Block number 3. Now, as a result of working out those two numbers, we can go down the column and remove the 7 from here and the 7 from here. And again, from here, we can go down the column again and remove 3 from here and 3 from here. Okay, so now we've removed more options that are, or more possibilities. Okay, so the whole of the top block 1, 2, and 3 have now been removed. Also, block number 6 has been removed. We've worked that out. Okay, so now we're only dealing with, say, block number 5 right now. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, we have the number 1, we have the number 2, we have the number 3, we have the number 4, we have the number 5. Okay, we only need 6 and 8. Okay, we already have 7. So already we know that 8 sits here because it's been crossed out. So here we go. We put 8 here. And since 8 is sitting here, we can cross 8 from here. So this one will be a 6. Just being simple and methodical. And you'll probably be able to resolve most of this using this method. Okay, as I said, this is a medium level puzzle, and so it's not as difficult as some of the rest of the puzzles. And we haven't hit a gridlock. I suspect we'll probably be able to solve this puzzle fairly straightforward and fairly quickly. So this is an 8. We can cross the 8 from here, just using the standard method of finding by elimination. We can probably work out all the numbers within this puzzle. It doesn't require anything extra more than that. So we just put a 2 here, and I think this row also has dropped. So now this row here has the number 8 and 9 and 8 and 9. Again, 8 and 9 are within this block number 4 as well. Okay, so let's start looking down this column. You can see, I'm just trying to see if I've not missed anything. I don't think I have, but there's always a possibility I may have because there's 3 numbers missing. And we got actually 7 we forgot. So let me put a 7 here, and then things will just clear up fairly quickly. So if 7 sits here, then we can't have 7 here in this column, going up the column. Okay, and since we can't have 7 here, we have a 2 and a 9, right? Let me see if this 2 has already gone. No, it hasn't. Oh, yes, it has. So again, since we know that 2 is gone from here, I can go down this column and remove the 2 from here. So can I see anywhere else? It doesn't stand out. So we know that 9 needs to sit here. Okay. Okay. So again, and since we know 9 sits in this row here, right, we can remove 9 from here, which means we end up with the number 3 sitting here. Okay. Since we know 3 sat there, we can remove number 3 from here. Okay. So there are other possibilities as well. Okay. Since 3 sits here, we can go up and down this column, and there's another 3. We can remove the 3 from here, which means we end up with a 1 here. Okay. Since we have a 1 here, we can remove the 1 from the rest of the column. So this one goes. So only 8 and 9 are possibilities here. But since we've probably filled in all the column, we can see 8 has already gone. So 8 goes. So this can only be a 9. Okay. So since we know if we go across this row here, since this is a 9, the possibilities here are 8 and 9. So in this row, 9 is eliminated. So this can only be an 8. I think we're more or less nearly done. just by the process of elimination. So this will basically show you that if you are methodical, there's no maths here, there's no mathematical stuff to deal with. It's just being very methodical and going through the process as carefully as possible. Now, there are possibilities that I may have missed some numbers here, but we will see and work them out. Okay, so again, we've just got two boxes or two of the blocks to resolve, and that would be it really. Okay, so let's go through this block here. Well, first of all, if I go up and down this row, this column, I do apologize, this column here, you will see we've removed 3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 5, right? We have 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 7 is already gone, and we forgot to cross this out, right? So things like that will slow things up. Okay, so 5 sits here. Since we worked out 5 sits here, we can go across this row, see if any more 5s are showing up. So yes, we can remove the 5 from here. Okay, so which means 6 sits here. Okay, and since we have 6 sitting here, we can go up and down, and I can't see any more that I can cross out from here. Okay, so let's go down. We have, if I go on this row here, we can see we've taken 7 out, and yet we forgot to cross it out elsewhere. So 7 crosses out here, 7 crosses out here. Okay, this row is resolved. Look at this row now. We have 2 and 7, which are important in both these ones. So situations like this, if there's no other way to resolve, we've got other options. But I think we will be able to sort of work out exactly what number goes to this location. Like here we can see 2 and 7, as I mentioned, but I can see 7 is gone in this column here. So if I cross that out, that would mean that we have a 2 here. Okay, so 2 sits here. Since we have a 2 sitting here, we can cross the 2 out from here, which means 7 sits here. So using this method that this is a standard method, but what I've done is made it available to you directly on the Sudoku puzzle. Using this process, it becomes a lot more easy to understand how it's working, the mechanism of knowing which numbers sit where just stands out very clearly. And sometimes using the traditional method, some numbers aren't as visible immediately. But again, we're getting there very quickly. Number 8 sits here, you can see. So I think we're almost done, right? So 8 sits here, there's no, so as a result of working that out, that's 8 sits here, we can now remove 8 from the rest of the row, because the column is done already. So 8 is removed from here, and so we can continue on. So again, you can see in this column here, we have we may have skipped something, but let me see, 8 is sitting here, so we can remove 8 from here. So this will become a 4. And since 4 sits here, so we can look at this column here. Since 5 sits here, we forgot to cross out the 5 from here. So we can put 3 here. Okay. And so we can see there's only 5 option left there. So that one becomes a 5. So we just finished the entire puzzle fairly quickly by using just the domino effect.